Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and based on the backdrop we've got here, it's time to take a look at another Damaged Racer custom. Now, last time we took a look at Race Damaged Rusty's Lightning McQueen from Cars 3, the most recognizable Damaged Racer from the entire franchise due to how crazy shocking that teaser trailer was and just how, gruesome that scene was, all in all. And, it's the most recognizable damaged car we never got a diecast of. At least in the modern day. If we rewind back to Cars 1 era stuff, back when we were getting damaged racers on the regular, we got Damaged the King in 2009 and Race Damaged Mood Springs in 2010, there was one racer that was on everyone's minds. Well, there were a few damaged racers, but the big one that everybody was wondering, when is this coming out, not if, was the Race Damaged Fabulous Hudson Hornet. Now, unfortunately, this guy would end up getting canceled all the way back in 2010. I don't think he ever even left the planning stages at Mattel because, well, we never got to see a prototype image of him, and, his listing in the collector's guide was just that, a listing. Unfortunately, Cars 2 rolled around, the rest of the Final Lap stuff got quietly canceled and put away, and we never got this guy. But thankfully, we got plenty of looks at him in the movies, so I was able to faithfully recreate him. And yes, this is another collaboration with the awesome King of Cars 95. His logo will be up here, and his Instagram will be in the description down below for you guys to go check out and look at his expansive collection. So that's where this one will be heading. Now, let's remove all of these guys from the backdrops, move Doc over here, and take a look at his appearances in the movies. Because unlike Lightning McQueen, who we never got a really good look at his crash, the aftermath anyway, we got two very good looks at Doc after the crash. The first of which being this newspaper from Cars 1. Doc Hudson Hornet crash out of the season. It gives us a nice black and white look at Doc after the crash and gives us a glimpse into why he stopped racing. But in Cars 3, we come full circle and get to see it exactly as it happened on an old film that Lightning had in Doc's garage. We see Doc take the lead, he barrels out of control, slamming into the track, which was thankfully a dirt track, so probably didn't hurt as bad. Before coming to rest, the rest of the competitors are all shocked and Doc is clearly unable to move, but at least he's still conscious. Yeah. So thankfully, we have plenty of good looks at Doc throughout the movie. So I was able to faithfully recreate him pretty much one-to-one using these as references. So let's dive right into the diecast, shall we? Starting with the front. So, first of all, the chrome on the front here, I actually didn't do much to it. I did put a light coat of brown paint on here and then spread it across to give it just a slight weathering. Not too much, because the chrome didn't get that roughed up in the movie. It was everything else that got roughed up, including the front end here. In the movie, it's it's a little lopsided, so I did my best to recreate this effect by cutting all the way through his hood line here pretty much to cut out the hood, and then a little bit on this side to kind of bend it upwards just a little bit facing this way so you can kind of see into the where the engine would be there, because that's how it looked in the movie. Also, part of his headlight is completely shattered off. And then moving on to the hood here, he's got a lot of dirt detailing. So a lot of brown paint, a lot of black paint I used to just get dirt and grime everywhere. The Twin H-Power logos are just completely caked, covered up. And then, the front end, there's some paint seared off, which is just coated in the dirt and the grime and stuff. And he is very clearly having a bad time here, as we've got, he's squinting. So, at least, he stayed conscious the whole time, which is more than I can say about McQueen, who was just, he was knocked out. He was completely out of it, which makes sense when you consider the fact that Doc had his crash on dirt versus asphalt for McQueen. Moving along to the side here, I did bend the wheels in on the front, very much so, to make it look like he's resting down like he is at the end of his crash in the movie. And then we've got, the side is where the damage really starts to come in. We've got a lot of paint seared off. The logo cuts throughout the entire logo. Lots of scrapes, lots of scratches, lots of dirt and grime covering it. It's just, he's been through it. And I even put some silver paint around his windows because that is a detail that has always been missing from Doc's Diecast. But it's there in the movie, and I put it on here to kind of strip away some of it to add to that damaged look. Moving along to the side here, again, more damage, and I also weathered the chrome down here. I put more brown paint on it and kind of spread it out. So that looks, a lot dirty, just like the edges, because this is a dirt track fabulous Hudson Hornet that I used. The back here did get away a bit compared to the rest of the side, because I imagine when he's flipping, he's going to take most of the brunt of the impact, elsewhere, not in this kind of crevice area. So that's why it looks a little bit cleaner, but even then the 51 got seared off a bit, and he's just not having a good day. Moving along to the roof here, in Cars 1, it looks like it's dented in, significantly dented in. But when we get to Cars 3, it looks like they kind of retcon that, because his roof is a lot more intact. So, what I did was I made a little indent in the middle of the roof here to, give that indent to it. I weathered it up using some black and brown paint, just like the rest of it. And, yeah, so that way he still has the indent on the roof, but, it's not as bad as it was in Cars 1, because it doesn't look that bad in Cars 3. So, anyway, moving along to the rest of the roof here, and the roof took the most of the impact. In both movies, you can see it's very dirty. So, I just caked it up with black and brown paint to give it that absolutely weathered look. Most of the 51s are completely covered and have some of its decals seared off. And it just looks awesome, in my opinion. And then the rear window, yeah, more silver paint, more of it seared off to give it that damaged look. Moving on to the trunk here, and I think this is where I outdid myself, personally. I don't like giving myself pats on the backs too much, but come on. I used the Dremel tool here to cut out the entire trunk to bend it upwards, because his trunk is absolutely bent out of shape in the movie. It is the defining feature, in my opinion, of the wreck, even though we hardly get to see it. It's bent all out of shape, so I made sure to completely bend it, and the paint is kind of, creasing because of it. And I think this has turned out fantastic. It's caked in grime. It looks like it's been through a war, which, I mean, if you think about it, racing is kind of like a war. And the back here, one of the support bars is completely seared off. I did this so I could get access to the trunk, but in my opinion, it just adds to the damaged look. And, his trunk is just completely totaled. I don't even know how he fixed this thing, man. And yeah, his taillights, they're kind of broken, shattered, and he's got some, wear on the rear bumper here, too. I made sure to add some brown paint there. The trunk is definitely his most damaged area. The roof, the trunk, and the hood. He spent more time on his roof than he did on the sides, I suppose. But even then, the right side did not escape my wrath. We never really get to see the right side in the movie, so I kind of took creative liberties here. I made it a bit different from the left side. I did more of the damage on the back here. I seared off more of the logo. And, this 51 is mostly intact. There's some cutting into it that I did, but not a lot. I wanted to keep it mostly intact. But there's some nice damage up here, some nice damage over here, and the logo has just been cut into. I really like how the Hornet logo came out, especially. It looks, realistic. There have been pebbles coming into it all day, taking some spots off of it, and then the crash just took a bunch of, paint off of it. And I think it came out very nicely. And again, I added more brown paint down here, and there's still some damage up here. And one of my favorite things about doing these is that if you rub your finger over the damage, you can actually feel it. This isn't just paint. I use a knife, I cut into it, I really make sure to get all the damage, like feeling the damage. You can feel the indents, you can feel the scratches. It's something that I make sure, because this damage, I want it to be realistic. I want it to be like, well, not if Mattel released a car, but even more so than that. I want it to be like an actual damaged car. But yeah, that will about sum it up, everyone. Hang on. Let's get some other Doc variants in here. The other fabulous Hudson Hornets. The Cars 1 variant over here. The Cars 3 Dirt Track variant, which is the Thailand variant. I don't think I actually kept a Sina variant for myself, surprisingly. Me, the variant collector, but I'm just not that into it. I think the Thailand one looks just as good. And then we got the Crucive variant back here. I unfortunately do not have the one with the pit stand. And I did not bring out the one with the tire, the funny flashbacks one either. But yeah, these are the most notable fabulous Hudson Hornet variants, and it's nice to finally see the evolution of the fabulous Hudson Hornet in diecast form. We got the Dirt Track one, the Crashed one, the Cars 1 one, and then the Crucive one. It's nice seeing his evolution in full form, finally. I am so proud of how this one came out. It fits in like a glove with all of these and all of the other damaged characters we've gotten over the years, as well as my Damaged McQueen. And one last thing that I would like to point out that's kind of funny to me. I realized how many cars that have gotten completely destroyed in the Cars universe have been blue. Like, 4 of these 5 guys here are blue. So, forget green being the unlucky car color. No, blue is the unlucky car color in the Cars universe. But anyway, that will about do it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you want to talk to me about maybe getting one of these done for yourself, hit me up in my Instagram. Link will be in the description down below. And I will catch you all in the next video. Bye!